For decades, the U.S. Air Force deployed one way. Now, they've completely changed the plan, and it reveals exactly how America is preparing for future wars. Before we dive in, this is breaking military news that most Americans don't know about yet. Hit subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. Here's how Air Force deployments work for the last 30 years. You're an F-16 pilot stationed at Shaw Air Force Base in South Carolina. You've been flying with your squadron for 2 years. You know your wingmen. You trust your maintenance crew. You've trained together hundreds of times. Then you get deployment orders. You're going to Qatar. But here's the catch. You're not deploying with your squadron. You're joining a unit being assembled from dozens of different bases across the country. Your wingman? He's from Nellis in Nevada. Your maintenance chief? She's coming from Hill Air Force Base in Utah. Your intelligence officer? Arriving from Langley, Virginia. You all meet for the first time in the combat zone. You got days, maybe weeks, to figure out how to work together as a team, to learn each other's communication styles, to build trust, to become a cohesive fighting force. This crowdsourcing approach worked when America had years to prepare for war, when conflicts built slowly, when we faced enemies with inferior technology. But the threats have changed. China is building the world's most advanced military. Russia is modernizing. Iran is developing precision strike capabilities. And the next war, it won't give us months to get ready. It'll give us days, maybe hours. Air Force Chief of Staff General Ken Wilsback put it bluntly. Changes in the global strategic environment over the last several years emphasize a clear need. Maintain an elevated state of readiness to deter and win in high-end conflict. The old deployment model had serious problems. Units thrown together at the last minute struggled with cohesion. Commanders didn't know their people. Maintenance crews didn't know the aircraft. Communication broke down. A 2024 Government Accountability Office report found the Air Force faced major challenges implementing its new force packages because units weren't training together beforehand. So they changed everything. Meet Air Expeditionary Wing 2.0, announced just days ago in January 2026. This is the biggest shift in how the Air Force deploys since the Gulf War. Here's how it works now. Units form 18 months before deployment. 18 months to train together, to certify as a cohesive unit, to arrive in theater ready to fight from day one. Instead of crowdsourcing, wing commanders handpick their teams. They choose the pilots, maintainers, intelligence officers, and support personnel who will deploy together. Then they train. Real-world scenarios, joint exercises, integration with other services. They practice exactly how they'll fight. They certify together, prove they can execute the mission, identify weaknesses, and fix them before they ever leave U.S. soil. And when they deploy as a complete combat-ready wing, not strangers meeting in a war zone, a team that's been training together for over a year. General Wilsback explained, AEW 2.0 allows us to present combat-ready forces. It is the next step in evolving our readiness, and it's based on input from across the total force and feedback from the major commands and wings. Let's break down why this matters. Speed, old system, crisis breaks out. Air Force scrambles to assemble units from across the country. Takes weeks to deploy a cohesive force. New system, pre-formed wings deploy within 48 hours, already trained and ready. Combat effectiveness, old system. Units spend their first weeks in theater just figuring out how to work together. Mission effectiveness is limited. New system. AEW 2.0 is a cohesive wing that arrives in theater maximally ready to fight. Day 1 capabilities instead of week 4 capabilities. Survival. In high-end conflict against advanced adversaries, the first 72 hours are the most dangerous. Units that can't coordinate effectively suffer higher casualties. Cohesive units that have trained together for 18 months, they communicate better, react faster, make fewer mistakes. That saves lives. Deterrence. This sends a clear message to China, Russia, and Iran. America can deploy combat-ready forces anywhere in the world faster than you can prepare a response. That's deterrence. That's what prevents wars from starting in the first place. AEW 2.0 isn't just about who deploys together. It's about how they operate once they're there. The Air Force is implementing wing operations centers instead of the old A-staff structure at deployed locations. Think of it like this. Instead of bureaucratic staff work, you get streamlined decision-making focused on one thing: executing the mission. The new structure improves agility in our operations and preserves decision space for combatant commanders. Translation: less red tape, faster decisions, more flexibility to respond to changing threats. The wings are also modular and scalable. They provide a standardized right-size baseline force package that provides the necessary capabilities to command and control and project platform-agnostic air power in any theater. Meaning, the same wing structure works whether you're deploying to Poland, Guam, or the Middle East. You can scale up or down based on the mission, add capabilities as needed. And here's something important for military careers. The new model continues group command opportunities at deployed locations. More leaders get combat command experience, which builds a stronger, more experienced officer corps. If you're a military family, this changes your life in real ways. Under the old system, you got deployment orders, sometimes with just weeks of notice. Now, you know 18 months in advance when your airman is deploying. That's 18 months to plan, to arrange childcare, to prepare financially, to make sure kids' school schedules are coordinated. Because units train at their home bases for most of that 18 months, airmen spend more time with their families during the preparation phase instead of being sent to different bases for temporary duty. And when your airman deploys with a team they know and trust, that's safer. That increases the chances they come home safely. You also deploy with families who've been connected for 18 months. Support networks are stronger. Military spouse groups are already established. So when does this actually happen? AEW 2.0 will be implemented in fiscal year 2027. That's October 2026, just 9 months from now. The Air Force is currently identifying which bases will host the first AEW 2.0 units. Wing commanders are beginning to select personnel who will form these new wings. Training curriculums are being developed right now to ensure these units can certify to the highest standards. First AEW 2.0 deployments are projected for late 2027 or early 2028. Priority theaters: Indo-Pacific Command, facing China, and Central Command, Middle East. These are the most likely flashpoints for conflict. The timing isn't coincidental. This change is being driven by one primary threat: China. The Indo-Pacific is now the military's top priority, and fighting in that region requires capabilities the old deployment model couldn't provide. Distance: bases are spread across thousands of miles. Units need to be able to operate independently from remote locations. Contested environment: China has developed advanced anti-ship and anti-aircraft missiles designed to keep American forces away. The first units to arrive need to be immediately effective, not spending weeks building cohesion. Speed of conflict: war with China could start and escalate in days, not months. There's no time for the old assemble in theater approach. Peer adversary: China isn't Iraq or Afghanistan. This is a technologically advanced military with capabilities that rival our own. Mistakes cost lives. Half-trained units don't survive. AEW 2.0 is just the beginning. The Air Force is simultaneously developing collaborative combat aircraft, AI-controlled drone wingmen that will fly alongside man fighters. The new F-47 sixth-generation fighter will enter service in the early 2030s. Built around this deployment model from the start: agile combat employment, the ability to operate from dispersed, austere locations, is being integrated into AEW 2.0 training. Joint operations with Navy, Army, and Marines are being built into the certification process. So Air Force units deploy already knowing how to work with other services. And allied integration with partners like Japan, Australia, and South Korea means AEW 2.0 units will train with the exact forces they fight alongside in Pacific conflict. The Air Force's new deployment plan isn't just a bureaucratic reorganization. It's a fundamental transformation in how America prepares for war. 18 months of training together, arriving in theater as a cohesive, combat-ready force. Streamlined command structures. Modular, scalable capabilities. This is how you deter adversaries. This is how you win high-end conflicts. This is how you bring airmen home safely. And for military families, it means predictability, stability, and the knowledge that your airman is deploying with the best trained, most prepared force in history. Air Expeditionary Wing 2.0 represents the most significant change in Air Force deployment strategy in 30 years. And it's happening right now. Subscribe for updates on military readiness and deployments.